The Love Talk Show on Liberty Radio.
Love stories in the hot seat.
A very good evening to all of you. Once again here with the Love Talk Show.
Love Talk Show is on air to talk about intelligent love.
Don't forget that when we have a couple here, your camera is there.
Yes. Hi, intelligent love. And a beautiful couple will also share with us what they've done while practicing intelligent love.
You will understand today how God works in mysterious ways while you are serving Him. Yes, it's true. If you know anyone who's single in the church, if you have a friend that is single, if you know someone who has been anxious in their love life, please, they must hear and watch what the couple here next to me has to share with you. Well, someone here is already asking, is Pastor Ricardo and Mrs. Delma?
Again.
While we are going to watch what is happening in the love therapy, I would like to remind you that we have our Vivox where you are going to vote which pastor is going to be in the hot seat this coming Thursday at Love Therapy. We have Pastor Joshua from our branch in Catford. We have Pastor Michael Souza from Peckham, Pastor Michelle from Woodgreen. We have Pastor Fagner Feitosa, that is in charge of the Portuguese work in our church in Plasto. He was here 1 month ago with Pastor Rodrigo. He was interviewing him. And we also have Pastor Aaron, was here last week and is now helping Pastor Wagner in the work in Portuguese here in FPK. Well, meanwhile, you can scan the QR code and you can vote choosing which pastor is going to be this coming Thursday, tomorrow, in this case, at 8 p.m. in the hot seat. Listen and watch what Bishop was teaching us a few weeks ago.
You trying to force someone to become something, you trying to force a situation with your own strength, you're only going to end up hurting yourself. So what do? We resort to faith. We resort to the altar. What is our sling and stone? The world has steel. Satan has his steel. That's what he did with those two people. I regret getting married. Imagine how unhappy they must be. Imagine, they are closed for love because if someone takes an interest in them, they are vaccinated against marriage. With them, the devil succeeded. What do? They probably try to read books to say, do this, do that. What is our sling and stone? Is our faith, is the word of God.
And this is what people, Andrea, are learning at Love Therapy. Our faith, the Word of God, is everything that we need to overcome problems and to reach our goals. And here we have Pastor Rosenberg and his wife, Juliana. Good evening to both of you. Thank you very much to be here with us. And we were talking a little bit before the program, Andrea, of air. And they are the living example that when we are not anxious, but we are serving God, God works on our favor.
Because God knows that for us to be happy, He promises that men should not be alone. And of course, women should not be alone, of course. So when we are not anxious, when we live by faith, like Bishop James was just teaching us in the Love Therapy Conference, so when we live by faith, everything falls into place eventually, right? That's what happened to you.
So, without delaying, tell us how old are both of you?
So I'm 31.
31,
I'm 29.
29.
They don't look like. They look like 20.
And for how long have you been married for?
We've been married for 9 years.
9 years
Yes, we're
now.
gonna turn 10 years.
10
now, next
We're
year,
gonna
right?
turn 9 years.
9 years.
Oh,
Yes.
Yes.
Seven-
She
Women
knows better.
always
Yeah.
remember.
Always.
Always.
Not always.
All the time.
Not always. Huh? Well, Rosenberg, usually I leave here, I give to our viewers an opportunity to type here a question that they want to ask. So you are watching the program, don't write now the question. Try to hear a little bit of the story, of the real story, and then you can type the question. And then I will ask them just one. Don't forget this. Otherwise, we won't leave the studio today. Well, we have Stratford connected, Mary, Hortensia from Plaistow, we have Jackie from Ipswich, we have Tobias from Woolwich, Lorraine from Bullring, Noshi from Luton, we have Venice from Brixton, Sarah from where is this from? Where is she from?
Sarah from Gottung.
Gottung. Where is Gottung? Do you know?
No
Huh?
idea.
Maybe it's
Yeah.
not in UK.
Lozelles is also connected through Viola. Seven Kings by Faith. Kilburn, Dina, Aquila, and Lawrence are also
Aquila
tuned.
and Lawrence tuned.
Yes.
Tooting.
And Croydon.
Croydon. Hello, Rianne and Bettina from Croydon.
Well, we have more people here. Lydia, Jacob, Monica, Tara, Sabrina, Elizabeth, also from Luton, Jasmine. Well, let's say, so you are married for 9 years or almost 9 years. And how did this start? Start this love story? Who wants to start talking?
You can start.
Me? Okay.
Okay, he starts. So how old were you when you first saw her or when you first heard about her?
I would complete 20 years, right? I was 19.
19.
Yeah. I was not looking for find someone. Of course, I knew I had to find someone to get married. But I was not anxious. I was like, oh, I need to find someone, because I knew how serious it was to marry someone. So
Rosenberg, I already know, but maybe the viewers don't. With the age of 19 years old, were you already an auxiliary pastor?
yeah. I was an auxiliary pastor.
And for how long were you in the church?
In the church,
Yeah.
I started in the church in 2012, so I was 4 years.
4 years
No.
in the church.
No idea. 2 years? Yes, 2 years. 2 years.
Well, I didn't know.
Yeah, because we got married. No, I'm making the math right now. So
He's nervous.
I was in the church for 2 years.
2 years.
Yes.
Okay. And you were an auxiliary more or less for?
For 2 weeks.
No,
Yes.
something's wrong in my math.
Yeah.
No, I started in the church in 2007.
Yes.
Yes, I started in the church in 2007, and I was raised a pastor in 2012.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and
5 years
for 2 years you were
So-
already serving God when you first heard
that's it,
about
yeah.
about her.
I was serving as a pastor for 2 years, and then I got to know her.
Okay. As an auxiliary, you were also taking part of the Lord's of the love therapy,
Yes.
because you were auxiliating your pastor and you were listening the teachings, and obviously you were also fighting for yourself. Tell us a little bit more of this.
Yes, I was almost memorizing the lessons of the love therapy, because I always heard Bishop Renato saying, listen to this, memorize this, because the test of life will come and you will need this lesson in your life, in your marriage.
Yeah.
So I was almost memorizing, reading the book, The Bulletproof Marriage, and taking part of the love therapy, because I knew that I didn't think it would be so early, but I knew it's sooner or later I would need those lessons.
Mm-hmm.
But then my mother came to action. Yeah. And she said, my son, you need to find someone. And I said, not now, because I know how serious it is, and I know that one mistake, it's gonna long for the whole life. No, but you need to know someone.
And was your mom in the church?
Yes, she was an assistant.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, look, I will pray, love therapy, read the books of proof marriage, and God will take care of it. I will not be anxious, but I will not ignore it.
Yes.
I'm going to do my part. I'm going to plant.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was a day that she called me and said, son, I found your future wife.
Your mother said it.
God has to use someone.
Yeah. You see, this is the beauty of faith.
Yeah.
You know, it's not that your mom is telling you you are going to marry this person. What I see here, Andrea, is someone who is dedicating his life to God, is dedicating his future to God, is manifesting faith, and not being anxious, not being dominated by this desire of having or finding someone. He gave it to God. He surrendered to God. He was doing his part. He was making use of his faith. But at the same time, God looked at you and said, if he doesn't do it, I will have to use someone.
I will find a way. So
Yeah.
it's not wrong when we go, for example, if you have a friend in the church, an assistant or a pastor, oh, do you know someone my age that could work that could be a match? It's not wrong, but you know, the work of the Holy Spirit is so beautiful when you are sowing, you say, on the altar, when you are planting on the altar, and the answer comes when you are not even expecting. So it's something really beautiful. I believe that the work of the Holy Spirit, when he comes and surprises us in a way, of course, it couldn't, like, for example, I will present to you, I will introduce you to Juliana. Oh no, maybe it's not a match. We talk and it's not the person. But it went well, and here you are today.
What did your mom do?
Yes, so I was not close to love. There was a pastor who tried to introduce someone, and I was open to know the person, but it didn't go well.
It didn't go well.
So
And you have to be ready, Pastor, for that. Like Bishop James always says, did you die?
no.
No. Okay, moving on.
And I was sure that God would provide someone. So maybe this one who the pastor is trying to introduce to me is the person, but it wasn't. But then my mom said, look, I found your future wife. I said, stop it. I said, no, you didn't. I said, no, I found it because there was an event of the group of the church. And I was in one city and she was in another city. So it's impossible for us to meet each other. But she said, my son, I saw the way she treats people. I saw the way she knows, she dedicates herself to the word of God, how excited she is to serve God. You need to know her. I said, Mom, not now.
So mainly your mom saw in your wife or in that assistant, she saw with the spiritual eyes the characteristics that you were looking for.
She knew me, so she knows me, what I was looking for. And I said, okay, send me her picture. Then if I like it, in obedience, I'm gonna contact her, no problem. And she sent me the picture, but she sent me a picture full of effects and filters, and I said, how is she? Send me another one.
How is she for real?
And then she sent me the link for her social media. I looked at her social media and I only found pictures with filters and effects. And I said,
you really like that.
But we were very young, right? I was 19, she was 17, 18. And I said, okay, but even with the filters, she's beautiful. So like me, let me try to know more about her. So what I did is, before I sent her a message, anything, I started to dig deep into knowing who she was. So I contacted her pastor, the auxiliary pastor of the branch where she was, to ask her how she was as an assistant. If after she counsels a person, how would the person leave? If the person was grateful of the person, how was it? The days she would serve as an assistant, everything, how active she was. And then the auxiliary pastor said, "But why are you asking those things?" I said, "Because I'm interested in her." And he said, "Oh, my friend, forget it."
Oh.
I don't know why. And no, some pastors have already tried to talk to her, but she doesn't
not
want.
open.
She's not open. Then I became interested.
Okay.
And at that point, I was saying, no, because of my mom. But at that point, I said, look, she's serious. Because if I want a woman of God, so we look for the behavior of a woman of God.
Yes.
We don't look for someone only in the church, but the behavior must match with the character. So I said, look, so now she's serious. She's not someone who...
Joking around.
Yeah. And then I asked my pastor to contact her father, because her father is a pastor as well.
And in charge.
In charge
He
of
was in charge of
Yes, in charge of the branch where she was. And she was an assistant. And I said, look, contact her pastor and ask him if it's okay for me to contact her. Not because he's a pastor, but as a matter of respect. Because the approach would not be nice, would be through social media.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it's a good approach for you to say the first hello through social media. You don't know the person. So look, maybe I can make it a better approach through social media, through her father.
Mm-hmm.
So
Which was the pastor.
Yes, the pastor of her branch. The same person, right? And then my pastor contacted him. He said it was okay. So after I had his permission, then I sent her a message, and I didn't receive a reply. Only the following day that she replied my message.
Okay. Juliana, tell us about you. How was on your side?
Yes.
He already said it on his side. Tell us a little bit of you.
Yes, but I was not looking for a relationship at that moment because I was okay. I was good. I was with my family.
Mm-hmm.
I was serving God, and I was very happy.
So you
with that moment of my
18 years
life.
old at the time. You were an assistant for how many years? I don't know. More or less.
A year.
A year.
Yeah.
Okay. And you were already serving God. And tell us what were your thoughts concerning to your love life on those days?
Pastor, to be honest,
Yes, this is what I want.
none.
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 Oh, none.
I wasn't worried about it. I was really okay with my situation. I was serving God, was with my mom and
You
my
were
dad. I
happy.
was very happy with that. So I wasn't looking for someone to have a relationship. I was good. I had a relationship, and now I remember I had a relationship before him. It didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
But I wasn't like having a grudge, or I wasn't like closed to love. I was just fine.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't sad like, oh, it didn't work, so
But did you want to serve God on those days?
I wanted to serve God, yeah.
On the altar too?
On the altar too.
So you knew that one day, eventually, you would find
Someone, yes.
Someone.
Yes.
Okay.
But you were not anxious at all.
Not at all. Not at all, because I had and I have a good relationship with my parents. So I was good. I was serving God. I was serving people. So I was.
You were at peace.
Yes, I was at peace.
And how was this approach of Rosenberg?
And why did you only reply the next day? I'm curious.
I think because I didn't see his message.
She didn't see her message.
Oh,
my message.
that's
I
why.
didn't see his message. And then I just replied on the next day. Yeah.
And what did you think about it?
Oh, well, Pastor, when I saw his picture, I thought he was really handsome.
Whoa. The butterflies started coming
Yeah, I
out.
thought, wow, he's really handsome. Yeah, but then I was open to talk to him because before him, there was another pastor who tried, like he really tried and like really
Try to convince
He
you.
was persevering.
just like put some pressure for me to get to know him, but I didn't want it. I didn't want it to know him. And he was like, oh, I pray for you, because in Rio de Janeiro we have the altar, and we have a space on the altar called the Tree of Life. And if I'm not mistaken, he said something like, oh, I pray for you, on the altar, under the Tree of Life. And I was okay.
Got to open your eyes. Yeah.
But I couldn't like him, and I was okay, And then he came, and the first thing that I really liked about him, that he wasn't trying to
Convince you of anything.
convince me or show me.
To impress.
Or impress me or show me he was like a great person, because that was the impression I was getting from the other man. So I liked him because he was who he was.
Natural.
Natural. It was something very natural. It wasn't something forced or I'm trying to impress her. Look how I am, godly. Nothing like this.
So from there to start dating, how long was?
Dating?
Yeah,
2 years.
2 years.
Yeah, we were.
Okay, and how was the proposal?
Okay, no.
No, I
We
don't.
are already.
The details
The
are
wedding
for
day.
the women. Huh?
You first started talking to each other.
Yes.
Yes.
Once you accepted his approach,
Yes,
like
Mrs. Andrea.
that was not forced or imposed.
No,
So
very
started
naturally.
talking, and then you liked each other.
Yes, we started
things
to
started
talk,
working
to
out.
see each other every week.
Yeah,
Every week?
Yeah.
And like she said, I was not trying to impress her, because this is one of the lessons that I have received in the love therapy. Look, I remember
Good
that.
student.
Yes, because it would come to the test in my life. I had to know it. But I remember the lesson that there is no point for me to try to impress or show something, because during the marriage, she will see who I am.
Yes.
So I can try
The
to
real
show
me.
an appearance or like the
Holy
man.
person.
Yeah, but she will know. So and she needs to like what I am truly. And then I didn't try to impress. And that's what made her really like me.
Yeah.
And then after 2 months,
Yeah,
3 months.
Almost 3.
Yeah,
You
3 months
started
talking, and we saw
Almost
that, yes, that's what we want. Let's move forward.
We
And
have a few pictures from
we
the
started dating.
dating.
Yeah, they were already
Very
okay,
young,
I didn't
right?
see.
showing.
We were
And
looking
it
at
doesn't look.
Yeah,
doesn't waste
this is
time.
few days before the marriage,
Yeah.
Oh, these are
the wedding. Yeah,
The wedding.
this is that we were dating at that time,
Okay.
and that was the day of the proposal.
Yeah.
proposal to get
So you
married.
proposed
To get
that.
married, yeah. This
Can you tell
the
people
sugar loaf.
which place
the sugar,
is that one?
That's the sugar loaf bread in the Rio de Janeiro. It's a tourist point.
This is
Yeah, we were dating that. Yeah.
Dating.
Okay. So we are going to watch what people are commenting about the love therapy. Meanwhile, you can type here one question to the couple, and I will read it here, and then we are going to teach you what to do in order to overcome too.
What kind of thoughts did you have about love before you started attending the love therapy?
Before, it's just like the way everyone has actually like portray love, like in terms of like, don't get married, it's not good for, like, you're gonna regret it. But like coming here, I was able to understand like it's actually not like this. The devil is blocking a lot of people from actually seeing the truth, and the plan of God is actually for you to get married, to have someone next to you, to have someone beside you, and you can't do anything by yourself. You need someone by you. You need actually like a partner.
What would you say stood out to you from tonight's love therapy seminar? What was something that caught your attention?
I think for me, it was when Bishop was speaking about how the devil has succeeded in basically kind of like making a lot of people to think that the two that they need for their love life is emotions, and we need to kind of like turn away from this and actually focus on what the weapon of God is, which is like our faith. God has given us this weapon of faith to be able to actually overcome, to be able to have a happy love life and a blessed marriage.
So, and I have here the couple. We have Rosenberg and Juliana, they were already sharing with us how they met already in the faith, and they shared with us how important it is for us to keep on doing what our faith tells us to do, which is serving God, honoring Him in first place. And even when sometimes we are not looking for something, but God knows this is the best for us, and this was Juliana's case, God provides and works on our favor. Andrea, we have a question for Juliana and
Question
and
for
Rosenberg.
Mrs. Juliana. Well, that's straight for you. What challenges did you have to overcome in your first few years of marriage, and how did you overcome? Monica Olamide. Well,
Okay. Well, I had to work in my communication because in my mind I was always supposing that he knew what was talking about.
Yeah, women's language.
Yes.
Yes. So I would ask him to do something, do that. And for me it was very clear, like,
the message was clear.
yes, like remove the rubbish, something very simple. And he didn't know what I was talking about because, of course, I didn't say that. I didn't say
specify.
I didn't say
When,
that.
how, where.
It would be like 3 things on the table, and she said, "Bring it to me, please."
Yes,
And that's what.
do that for me, please. Like remove the rubbish. But he didn't know about the rubbish. Like, but for me it was very clear. So I need to work on my communication and
Communication skills.
yes, like speak clearly. Then he could understand what I'm saying, and then we wouldn't have like misunderstandings.
And the communication helped to overcome. Well, I'll give an exception today. We have another question here. I think that is interesting. Rosenberg, how do you serve one another in order to stay in your first love?
Aquila. is
Aquila.
asking.
Okay.
That's interesting, right?
How do
very
you
important.
serve one another in order
Yeah.
to stay in your first love? Rosenberg.
It's for him, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow,
you can
that's a tough one.
Why
Why,
not?
why not?
Have
How to
communication
overcome something?
skills.
But I believe, we see the differences that we have, we see the challenges, but when we sacrifice for a person, that sacrifice, I believe, it renews our love for each other. Just for the matter of sacrifice or giving. When we give, that's what, like Jesus said, that those who give are happier than those who receive. So I believe that when we sacrifice for each other, we understand when I see her limitations, I also remember that I have mine. Then I need to understand that in the beginning I remember that I was not telling her, but inside of me I was always expecting that she would catch up with my skills. Like, no, she needs to be as good as I am in that. But I didn't tell her anything about that because I remember that maybe she's not good in this as I am, but I'm not good, or I'm not that good like she is in other things. So I believe one of the things that helps me to always continue admiring her and serving her is always to look at myself as well.
And keeping your first love as the question.
Yeah,
they
always
ask.
to remember that.
So nice.
Oh my gosh, I need to see myself in order to admire someone else.
That's it.
Juliana, that camera, please.
Because
There's
Pastor already
people-
made a declaration.
Oh my god.
Oh.
There's people watching us, and I would like you to say a few words for them, please.
Okay, so I believe the most important thing we have in our lives is our relationship with God. And without having a good relationship with Him, we will not have any other good relationship. So if you see that your relationship is not with someone else is not that good, ask God to help you and try to to be better for him, because when we have a good relationship with him, we have a good relationship with our husbands, with our parents, even though sometimes they are difficult because they don't have the same faith. But you give a good testimony, you do what is good for them. It doesn't matter if they do as you expect from them, but because you have a good relationship with God, God becomes your husband, God becomes your mom, your dad, and he fulfills that expectation. You have an expectation about someone and you are always giving, and the person doesn't give back, but God gives you back. So the best relationship we have, I believe, in this life is with God. So this is the best one. We can always,
The pillar for all the other relationships.
yeah, we can always, be there planting. Then as we grow with him, we grow our relationship with people. So we are also able to forgive more, to understand more people around us, to give more love, to serve more, to be more patient, because sometimes people are very different. So we need to be very patient. But when we don't have this relationship with God, it's very difficult for us as well. So yes.
Yeah. Do you have a Florindo in your branch?
Yes,
Florindo?
yes.
He's asking something here. But
Oh my gosh,
Florindo.
Florindo.
He cannot answer because we
don't have time.
we crossed
Oh my
already the
gosh.
line of time.
Okay.
And we have
Well,
so many people
Rosenberg,
connected.
please, what do you have to say to those who are watching us?
Advice. Well, learn the lessons from the love therapy, the Bulletproof Marriage book, the dating. I don't know the name in English of the dating. Bulletproof dating.
Yes.
Bulletproof dating, because these lessons, if you are single, you may look and say, how will I apply the lessons for a marriage life if I'm not married? But these lessons will help you to avoid problems. She said she had to improve her communication. One of the things that helped us to improve our communication was the book. So when the problems started to appear, we knew what to do and how to deal with it. So don't wait for the bomb to explode in order for you to seek help or for you to try to solve it. Start to learn, start to invest, to sow your communion with God, to sow the love therapy, and I'm sure that you will reap as well.
Well, if you want one of these books, you can even go to one of our branches and then you can get yours. Rosenberg and Juliana, thank you very much for having you here.
It was amazing.
And this coming Thursday, tomorrow, we are going to have the love therapy, which I advise you to join us. It doesn't matter what your condition is, single or married. If you want to be happy in your love life, you are our special guest. And the
couple
Vivox,
yes,
the Vivox is, please show us what lately they have been even. Who is going to be with us tomorrow?
You vote.
Wow.
You have chosen.
Pastor Joshua from Catford will be tomorrow in our hot seat.
Good evening, Pastor
It
Joshua.
will
Are you
be-
there?
It
Can
will
someone
be
tell Pastor Joshua,
in-
please?
It will be in the hot seat. Well, very well. May God bless you all. The Love Talk Show returns tomorrow at 10 p.m.
With intelligent love, as always.
Bye-bye.